YouTube, today I'm going to be going over all of the updated settings up until Season 4, June 1st, 2024 for Call of Duty Warzone and multiplayer, basically. This is going to be pretty casual, honestly. I'm just going to walk through them. I'm going to try to be quick, try to be brief, give you some of my thoughts on why I'm choosing the settings. I'll try to cut out maybe some blank spots here and there, but this is going to be pretty casual. So sit back, relax, get your console or your PC out and get ready to follow along. All right, guys, let's get this thing started. I'm going to start out on the controller tab. These first inputs, these are all mostly personal preference. Flipping your triggers between L1, L2, R1, R2, that's up to you. Button layout, if you want to play on default, whatever you got. If you got paddles and stuff, do your thing. Controller vibration, I always turn this off. I think it messes with your thumbs while you're trying to play. I recommend turning it off, to be honest. Trigger effect, if you're on like a PlayStation 5 controller like me, you're going to want this off. I shoot with my bumpers anyway, but it will make it so that these back triggers don't have like any of this full haptic feedback, all that kind of bullcrap. All right, moving on to the dead zones. This is a fairly important one for movement, mostly in Warzone. So left stick minimum, I've got it at 0. You want it to immediately trigger on whenever you're trying to run around and use tac sprint, right? And you want to put the max to 60, so it'll actually get you in a full tac sprint before you slam it all the way to the front. It'll get you to a full tac sprint just when you kind of get it to 60%, Right stick minimum, I tried to go 0 at one point because I heard Jobo was saying, stick drift is good, but I ended up finding that it was like 2 sensitive and 3 was nice because it gave me a little bit of margin of error and it was just easier for me to control, basically. I don't know. Yeah, you have to play with it a little bit is what I'm saying. Right stick max, just leave it at 99. Don't ever mess with that one. And then the triggers, these depend on these are just what I throw grenades with, right? So it just depends on I accidentally hit my right one too much when I'm shooting, so I turned it on not that sensitive, but that's up to you. Personal preference, it doesn't really matter. All right, moving over to the aiming tab. Sensitivity is a big one. I'm one of the top 1% ranked players in the world. I've been iridescent in both Warzone and multiplayer. The best players I know, all the professionals in Call of Duty, they all play on lower sensitivity. I mean, I play on 7. It literally says it's high, so it's not that low, but I highly recommend that you play on somewhere around 6 as a baseline, and then you can go up and down from there. Even try moving this vertical stick sensitivity a little bit lower than your horizontal. You don't need to make as drastic movements going vertical, up and down. So just try it. You might like it. Another thing that you need to do, both of these, whenever you first log into the game, these will be set to 1.2, and the only way you can change them to 1.0 is go up here and make this custom. And so it'll be at 1.2. You just take it, make it 1, and then you can choose whatever sensitivity you actually want. And you have to do that for both vertical and horizontal. I don't know why they did that, but it makes it funky. ADS sensitivity multiplier is another huge one. I recommend this just being below 1.0. This makes it so whenever you are on a target, I don't want to use this gun. This makes it so that whenever you are on a target and you're aimed down sight, it is a lot. You have a lot more margin of error, right? So whenever you're making your fine adjustments, it doesn't move as fast as when you're not aimed down sights. This is why you see the sticky aim, max aim assist, all that stuff. Is because everyone turns down their ADS sensitivity multiplier below 1.0, and it makes you feel like you stick to everything. It's like you can't get off of it. It's insane. It's probably one of the most important settings you're gonna get today. All right, now sensitivity multiplier. I never touched that. Vertical aim access, I play on inverted because I'm weird. Up is down, down is up. Don't touch it. Tactical stance sensitivity, I don't play tactical stance, so I never touch that. Aim response curve type, dynamic it's still extremely overpowered, and it's the best one in the game. Sometimes I think it starts on standard when you first get on here, so make sure you change this to dynamic. It's super overpowered. That's why people are like, oh, you looks like you have aimbot. Yeah, it's because I'm using dynamic and it's extremely overpowered. ADS sense multiplier focus, I just leave this at 1.0, never touch it. I don't know what it does. ADS sensitivity transition timing, you just want this to be instant. Sensitivity multiplier is applied immediately when aiming down sights. Yeah, so whenever you just aim down sights, you immediately get that 0.85 multiplier. Just keep it at instant. Custom sensitivity presume, I don't mess with it off. If you want to get really weird, you can. I recommend don't. And then for aim assist settings, default, make sure this is on. Default is still the move. Some people will say Black Ops is, but default is the best. There's people that test it online. You can find the YouTube videos somewhere out there, people testing it. Default's way better. ADS aim assist on, that other stuff. I haven't touched any of this. Okay, moving on to the gameplay tab. Now this is where all of the movement and just gameplay, ease of life stuff, right? So automatic sprint. automatic tack sprint. You have to have this on automatic tack sprint. It makes it so when you push forward on your left stick, you automatically go into that tack sprint. If you don't have it, you know, you'll just do a regular jog, but you need to have this on. This is the only way you get those like fast sprints and slide cancels around corners and stuff. Slide maintain sprint. Some people will tell you to turn it on. I've always had it off. I thought it was making me dive a lot for some reason when I wasn't supposed to, or a dead slide. It's up to you, honestly. I don't need it because I like slide cancel with circle and X, and I don't need to maintain sprint because I have automatic tack sprint. As long as I'm holding forward, it'll sprint. Auto move forward off. I don't know why you would want that on. Tactical sprint behavior. I have it on single tap run. This makes you automatically go into a tack sprint if you're like laying prone and then you click the sprint button, like the left stick, it'll make you automatically go into tack sprint, single tap run, just changes to that. This is a really important one, grounded mantle. This is so whenever you're like jumping through windows, like on Rebirth Island, that you don't mantle the freaking window and you just like jump and your feet just run across it. You know, if you ever get in those stuck in those mantling animations, they actually will screw you over half the time. Turn this thing off. Automatic airborne mantle. It just means you have to like move towards the ledge and hit X one more time. I just have it off and I just spam the button if I want to like mantle actually onto something. Same with this one, automatic ground mantle, same thing, just turn them off. Slide dive behavior is a super overrated one. Hybrid is the best right now. You can literally have the instant slide cancel and also be able to still dive by holding your left stick and then hitting your slide button. This one's super overpowered. It takes some time to get used to, but really worth it. Plunging underwater, just make this free. It just works better underwater. Parachute automatic behavior, turn it off so you're not automatically deploying your parachute. That's dumb. You look like a bot. Sprinting door bash on, obviously. Ledge climb behavior, just made it movement based. Gas mask activation. This is a new one that just came out today. For me, I'm switching it to automatic because I don't want to have to go in my inventory and click the button every time. I'm just going to like be ready for the animation. I'm used to it anyway, so I'm just going back to automatic. I recommend you would do the same. Aim down sight behavior, hold, change zoom activation. I've never messed with this. Just leave it at default, whatever it is. Equipment behavior, leave that to hold. Weapon mount activation, that's up to you, whatever you want. Weapon mount exit delay. All of these I leave at default. I don't touch any of these except interact/reload behavior. If you play Warzone, you're going to want to have it on prioritize interact so you can pick stuff up off the ground with just tapping instead of having to hold it, and you can pick a bunch of stuff up very quick. Makes looting really easy, excuse me. And then if you're running over a bunch of gear and you don't want to drop your guns, all you do is just hold the reload button to reload instead of tapping it so you don't like accidentally pick stuff up. Armor plate behavior, apply all. If you need to cancel it, all you have to do is just hit like triangle or B or something just to cancel out the animation, or you can just have it apply all so you don't have to continuously hold the freaking triangle button. ADS stick swap, never touched it, leave it off. Backpack controls, directional buttons, yeah. Depleted ammo switch, personal preference, I just leave it on. I don't even know if I've ever gotten depleted ammo switch to activate. Quick C4 detonation, this is up to you guys. I leave it grouped. Manual fire behavior, these are all default, honestly. I don't think you need to change any of these. They're all good stuff. Vehicle behaviors, I don't do vehicles. If you do, you can mess with those. Overlay behaviors, all these are just default. All right, moving on to the graphics. For my PC players, I've heard full screen exclusive actually gets you the most refresh rate, and then you just got to make sure that your screen refresh rate matches whatever hertz your monitor can put out, and that your display resolution matches that as well. That's up for like the PC players mostly, but same for console. It's really the same. Display gamma, I've never messed with that. That's default. Brightness, that's up to you to configure whenever you start the game up. NVIDIA reflex low latency, do on plus boost. That seems to get the best performance. Custom frame rate limit, make it custom, and whatever your monitor hertz is, mine's 240, set it to that. Menu frame rate, you can just lower it. It doesn't need to be running at full capacity whenever you're in the menus. I have it at 120 and then 30 when it's out of focus. Optimal menu render resolution. HDR, I have it off because I think I get a little bit more frames without it, but I've heard you can have it on and you'll be fine. On to the quality tab, especially for the console folks. Make sure you have your upscaling/sharpening to Fidelity FX, and then turn it up to a freaking 100. It looks way sharper. It looks way cleaner. On my PS5, I have this turned up to 100. It makes the game look way better. Path retracing, turn this off. VRAM scale target. It depends on your computer. I'm not going to really get into this one, to be honest with you. I put it somewhere in the middle. You can see in the bottom right like estimated VRAM usage, and then my target is way under that, so like I don't mess with that one much. That's for another video for you guys. Variable rate shading, leave that one on. I've heard it's the best. And the rest of this stuff, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation off. Everything, I have it all on low, man. I'm trying to get max frames, and I max my thing out at 240 hertz or 240 frames per second. I turn all this crap off. I leave bullet impacts on, persistent effects on. That's cool. Shader quality, you want that to be high because I think it makes your game glitch out. Let's see what else. Local texture streaming quality, that is on normal instead of low. That's another one that will make your game glitch out. Put that on normal. But everything else, very low. Off, 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 low. Tessellation, off. Volumetric, low. Deferred, physics, weather grid, off, low. Everything is off or low, except local texture streaming quality. I leave it on normal. And then shader quality on high. Those are the only two. Everything else is pretty much off or on. And then I like bullet impacts and persistent effects on. All right, going back to view real quick. Field of view, I do 115. I've heard 120 is a little bit harder on your console, especially. And then 115, it makes you're a little bit more zoomed in. So the characters on the screen are going to appear a little bit larger. It's going to make them easier to track. 120 is super wide. I like 115. It's personal preference, guys, honestly. This is another huge one is ADS field of view. You want this to be affected, so whenever you aim down sights, it stays at 115 instead of like zooming in farther and giving you a bunch of visual recoil and stuff. This is a huge one. Weapon field of view, wide. It makes the gun appear smaller on your screen. It just looks a little bit better in my opinion. It's still personal preference. You can kind of have it whatever you want there. These are some definite no-brainers. World motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, field grain 0, first person camera movement, third person camera movement at least 50% on both of those. Those are all huge ones. Makes the game look and feel way faster. It doesn't have all that bullcrap cinematic features that we don't need to be competitive on this game. The rest of this stuff I don't really mess with. Third person AD, I don't know. Spectator camera, helmet camera, okay. Inverted flashbang, I just leave it white. Parachute, camera, perspective, first person. I don't really mess with any of those. Audio settings, it's going to depend on what you have. If you're on a PC, you always want to go PC speaker. It's the best one right now. And if you're on console, I think you go like cinema, I think might be the best one for you guys. It's going to depend on what you're playing on. I have this on stereo or default. I don't know, honestly. But this is an important one. For your volumes, just turn all this other crap you don't need off. Gameplay music volume off. Cinematic music, war tracks, turn all those to 0. It's just a bunch of distracting stuff in game that'll take you off your game, you know? Like get that shit out of my ear. Effects volume, keep that at 100 though. And then dialogue volume, I don't know if that's the players or whatever, but I keep it on 30. It's fine. And then, you know, master game, voice chat, that's going to be up to you guys how loud you want the stuff. I like my voice chat, so I like my voice chat to be loud. So it picks up good when I'm recording, so I can get a bunch of people raging and calling me a cheater all the time. It's funny for videos, you know. Another big one here on the interface tab over here. Here, L2, interface right here. Color customization. Go down to the bottom, color filter settings. Make it filter to it. Makes your game look a lot more vibrant and colorful. It looks great. And then turn up world color intensity and interface color intensity to 100 if they're not already there. This makes the game look a lot better, and you can do this on console as well. HUD bounds, this is another important one. It brings the mini-map in from the top, very top left to like a little bit closer to your screen, so you don't have to like turn your whole head to look, you know? I just make them go in as far as possible on the vertical and the horizontal. All this other stuff is kind of up to you guys. I have one more, the crosshairs. I like to have a center dot on, and this is on the interface tab as well. I have it on largest. It just kind of like keeps my vision focused right at the center, so I know where I'm centering when I'm coming around corners and stuff. It's up to you, play with it, but I still think that's a good one. The rest of this stuff, up to you, man. Not really important. Skip introduction movie on. This is one of the actually most important. Not lied. Sorry about that. Of yapping that I just did. I go live in the evenings on twitch.tv/mightaswellbemac. I would love to freaking have you there sometime. If you guys like this or found it helpful, please also just leave a comment, like, subscribe, whatever. You can talk shit to me about it too. I don't care. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Thanks.